Shalom, family. It's good to see everybody. All right. This week, I have two different audios that I'm going to play for you from Brother L. And if you weren't on my live stream earlier today, on the night of the blood moon, I'm going to do a Brother L marathon on live stream. Now, I'm just going to let it play. Because it's going to be playing overnight, I may not be on the whole time. So, but everybody is welcome to come and listen to it. Listen to a few of his different audio podcasts that he have out there. They're all very good, by the way. I've listened to the majority of them out there. And I'm just going to have it playing just so, everybody can listen to a variety of different things. And you can also watch the blood moon online as well. If you're down for watching it, there's always somebody out here live streaming it, especially if you're in an area where the skies are not clear and it's overcast, then you may not be able to see it. So there's all kinds of alternatives, but shalom, everybody that's in the chat. Hope you're all doing well. And I'm just going to give it a few more minutes so more people can come in, and then we'll get started. All right. Let's see here. I remember that one. Not sure. Yeah, here we go. No, not that one. Hold on. Where's the other one? All right, I guess I'm not. I must be skipping over it, but usual. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get started. Let's see. Well, let me share my screen. Okay. Shalom to everybody in the chat. We're going to go ahead and get started. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you. All right. Okay.
We believe in the truth that is in the Bible. We believe in the resurrection of the dead. You are Lazarus. You are the dry bone. You are the prodigal son. You are the lost sheep. You are the people about whom the Bible is speaking who will stand up in the last day when the trumpet is sounded. We believe we are the people of God's choice. That's what we believe. We believe we're the chosen people. When the Bible mentions Babylon, it means America. When the Bible mentions Sodom and Gomorrah, that's America. When the Bible mentions Egypt, that's America. This is Rome. This is Babylon. This is that wicked kingdom that God is going to come and set fighting to in the last day. And you're living in that day right now. And I'm glad.
Blessings, family. This is your brother L. We are now on episode number 32 of the Unload and Reload series, where we go through scriptures, chapters, verses, stories, and current events so that we may gain a more motivational mindset, so that we may obtain victory, success, and destiny in this life and in the life to come. The topic for today is a thing of naught. A thing of naught. You'll hear a phrase here and there in scripture at certain times, and the scripture uses the phrase of a thing of naught. There's two definitions and understandings that I want us to take away from this as we go throughout this discussion. A thing of naught, number one, means something that appears to be major, appears to be serious, appears to be something to have concern about. Most oftentimes an enemy or a situation or an obstacle that seems insurmountable. It seems so gigantic. It seems like a giant, but really it's a thing of naught. In other words, it's nothing. In other words, it's minor. It's not major. It's small. It's not big, but it presents itself as something major. It presents itself as something that will last a long time or be a problem for a long time. But really, behind everything, it's nothing. It's nada. It's, as the scripture calls it, a thing of naught. Then there's other situations where there are people, nations, situations that try to treat you and I as a thing of naught when we are really big and major. There's situations where people or groups are treated as being nothing, but they're really major. They're treated as being small, but they're really big. And that's always been one of the tactics of the enemy, to treat our people as nothing when really we are everything. That's how they've tried to treat our Elohim, the Most High, to treat him as if he's nothing, as if he doesn't exist, as if he's a small thing, to take his name in vain, when really he is everything. He's the great I am. He's the creator of all. So it's always been a psychological tactic of the enemy to treat something that is major, that is big, that is special, as if it wasn't special. Whenever somebody wants to gain an advantage over you, the first thing that they'll do is try to make you feel small. They know that the lower you feel about yourself, the more they'll be able to get away with treating you as if you're nothing and taking total advantage of you. That's the first thing that devils do when they see something that has value. They treat it as if it has no value. They treat it as a thing of naught. So that's the second understanding in this, that we know who we are. We must know our high value. We must know the high value of our Elohim and of our people and of our history. We must know the high value and esteem of ourselves and let nobody treat us as a thing of naught. Those are the two things I want us to take away from this. I want us to take away that there's things that the enemy pumps up to be so great and so magnificent and such an obstacle and such a giant, when really it's nothing. And then the enemy also likes to treat people and things that are truly special, truly chosen, truly high value. He likes to treat them as if they're nothing, to take the value away from it and to make no one else see the value in it. That's the understanding we're going to get from this discussion today. A thing of naught. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10 through 12, and let's learn the truth about these enemies of ours, this wicked world that is around us and amongst us. All the things of this world that portray themselves to be so magnificent and amazing and mesmerizing, when really they are a thing of naught and vanity. They're nothing. Listen to what it says here in Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10 through 12. Keep these verses in mind as you look at any obstacles that you may be facing, any enemies in front of you, and think to yourself, am I pumping this situation up more than it really is? Am I making something major out of this enemy or this obstacle when really it's something small? Here's what it says. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy Elohim. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing. Listen to this, family. This is the Father talking about your enemies, your problems, those things that used to keep you up at night, keep you worrying, those things where you haven't been able to seem to see a solution in it, or how is this going to work out? Listen to what the Father says about this. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing. And they that strive with thee shall perish. Thou shalt seek them and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing and as a thing of naught. Family. So all these things and all these people that's making the news right now and, is the latest craze and the latest trend, all these things and all these people that they pump up, all the glories and fancies of Babylon, all the people they lift up on these platforms. Family. The scripture says that the day will come where you shall seek them and you shall not find them. They shall be as nothing and as a thing of naught. All these things that seem to give our people and you in your life individually such competition, such problems. Family, it's a thing of naught. Whenever the Most High strengthens you, as he said he will do in these verses, he said, fear not, for I am with thee. I will strengthen thee. The Father will put so much strength in you and I that these things that were once mountains, we will crush them to powder. These things that were once giants, we will behead them. These problems, whether it be financial, whether it be health, whether it be on the relationship aspect, whether it be having supernatural spiritual power to cast out demons, heal the sick, raise the dead, all these things that seem like it was so difficult, it will flow oh so easily through the power of the Most High. If we put the work in, if we continue to endure. All these things that used to give us so much trouble will be as a thing of naught. You'll look back and say, man, remember when I used to have issues in my prayer life? Remember when I used to find it hard to be able to fast for one day? Now I just knocked out a 21-day fast like it's nothing. Remember when I had financial problems where whenever payday came, the money was gone as quick as it came in. Now I got money and wealth chasing me down, and I have enough to give to other people that's in need. Remember when me and my wife and my husband was constantly at it? Now the things are flowing smoother. Remember when I didn't have a husband or a wife? Now, look, all those times were as a thing of naught. Remember when our people was getting shot down by the police in the streets, and then they would just let the murderers go free? Now the same people that was doing that and their descendants are working as maids in my mansion and cleaning my feet, and then the rest of them are cast into hellfire. You'll look back on all those things that used to give you so much trouble and difficulty, and it'll be a thing of naught. Staring at the world through your rear view mirror as you ascend to your throne in this life and in the life to come. This is what the scripture's talking about. All these things, these problems, these everyday situations that seem so major. Family, the time will come, and the time is even now, where these things will be looked upon as a thing of naught. Everybody's talking about 2020 this and 2020 that. Some folks saying they can't wait for 2020 to be over. Let me tell you, a lot of these things going on in 2020 that people have been saying is giving them so much trouble and pain, one day is going to be looked upon as a thing of naught. And to some people who are already tapped into the strength of the Most High and have vision and have faith, they're already looking at this little petty stuff as a thing of naught. They're already existing above it and beyond it. And they have their foot on the head of that serpent like we're supposed to. It's a thing of naught, family. It's vanity. But at the time that we're going through it and we're in it, it seems so major. Some of these things we think are so major, family, they are a thing of naught. Just like some of the folks you thought you was in love with. You thought that person was going to be the wife or the husband. You had so much high hopes and this and that. Now you look back and you're like, how was I ever with that person? It's a thing of naught now. Some of the things you used to want, you look back at it now like, man, that's a thing of naught. Like, that's nothing. I got something so much better. It's a lesson for us not to be driven into a crazed frenzy by these momentary fleeting desires that come to us. Let's make up in our mind we're not going to get caught up in nothing that seems so great that later on we'll be looking at it as a thing of naught, nothing. Now, let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 26 through 28, because we also need to get an understanding how we must not let our mind and our heart and our spirit be affected by people or situations who look upon us as we are a thing of naught. We must always know our worth and our value. So when people try to play that psychological warfare, whether it's society, whether it's people in our life, we'll be able to hold up the shield and the defense around our mind and spirit and say, you way out of pocket right now. You talking to me as if I have no value when my value is super high. My stock is rising right now. Never let nobody treat you as a thing of naught, like you have no value. The second folks begin to undervalue you, whether it's ministry, business, whatever the case may be, like, look, I can take my business elsewhere. I can take this ministry elsewhere. Don't ever make the mistake of undervaluing or underappreciating me. That's the mentality you need to have out here so that you're not letting nobody ragdoll you around. Know your worth, know your value. Because if the Most High saw fit to send his son to die for the children of Israel, and if the Most High saw fit for the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel to be written on the gates of heaven, evidently, you and I have high value. Never let nobody undercut your high value. It says here in the scripture, for ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And the Most High have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And base things of the world and things which are despised hath the Most High chosen, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are. What the Most High here is telling us, family, is that we are going to be the ones to expose this world for the illusion and for the fakeness that it is. All these grand, fake, majestic, powerful people and nations and governments and celebs and organizations, all these things that they lift up on a platform, we, being the light of the world and the salt of the earth, through our greatness, through our presence, we're going to show forth that all these idols that everybody been worshiping, it's a thing of naught. All these things they've been holding up to be untouchable and unbreakable. All we got to do is speak to those things and they'll fall and crush to pieces. They look upon all these things as being the strongest of the strong, but the Most High through us is going to show them they are the weakest of the weak. All the scientists they hold up, all the quote unquote health experts, all these people that they lift up and hold up to be the end all be all, we're going to show the whole world through the anointing and power and wisdom that the Most High puts upon us, the strength he puts upon us. We're going to show the whole world these idols you've been worshiping ain't nothing. They are a thing of naught. It's almost like back in them days when they wasn't letting none of our brothers in the NBA. The NBA and the college basketball was just full of them lanky, weak white boys. And the minute they start letting our brothers get in them leagues, next thing you know, all the teams was all black because our brothers was running circles around them crackers out there. On the baseball, football, science, George Washington Carver running circles around the white scientists. They looked like they was something whenever they wasn't letting us in. But the minute we stepped in the building, we exposed them that y'all ain't on nothing. Let me show you what we got going on over here. We was dominating them without even really trying. And that's what's going to happen on a global level, family. We're going to dominate them without barely even trying because the Father is with us. And the whole world is going to see and know that they and everything they've taught, no matter how much they puffed it up to be something great, it's a thing of naught. As it says in the book of Jeremiah, all these Gentiles are going to be coming and saying, man, our forefathers have taught us lies, vain things in which is no profit. And they're going to have to admit, these are the true people. They got the true power. And as it says in the scriptures in Isaiah 41, the ones who decide to strive against us shall perish and be destroyed. So we come in for absolute dominance. We stepping into the negotiation for domination. We coming in the room to flip the table. We kicking in the doors, and it's either bow down or die. That's the power and force that we coming with as the children of Israel. So family, don't let nobody out here treat you as a thing of naught. You shall rule the universe right beside the Messiah. You shall rule the earth along with the holy angels and the Messiah. Know your worth. Know your worth. Don't let nobody treat you as a thing or not. And don't be out here blinded by all these false idols and systems of Babylon that they lift up. They act like these things are so amazing and great. Man, these things is a thing of naught. They ain't about nothing. All praise to the Most High. Father willing, we'll be back tomorrow to go through more scriptures, chapters, verses, stories, and current events, so that we may gain a more motivational mindset, so that we may obtain victory, success, and destiny in this life and in the life to come. Shalom.
We believe in the truth that is in the Bible. We believe in the resurrection of the dead. You are Lazarus. You are the dry bones. You are the prodigal son. You are the lost sheep. You are the people about whom the Bible is speaking, who will stand up in the last day when the trumpet is sounded. We believe we are the people of God's choice. That's what we believe. We believe we're the chosen people. When the Bible mentions Babylon, it means America. When the Bible mentions Sodom and Gomorrah, that's America. When the Bible mentions Egypt, that's America. This is Rome. This is Babylon. This is that wicked kingdom that God is going to come and set fighting to in the last day. And you're living in that day right now. And I'm glad.
Blessings, family. This is your brother L. We are now on episode number 31 of the Unload and Reload series, where we go through scriptures, chapters, verses, stories, and current events so that we may gain a more motivational mindset so that we can obtain victory, success, and destiny in this life and in the life to come. The topic for today is it's a setup to do the impossible. It's a setup to do the impossible. The enemy, and one of his tactics of warfare, is to put the people of the Most High in impossible situations. This is our people as a whole throughout our history, and also it's a tactic that the enemy uses against us in our personal lives. He's always working snares, traps, and setups. He's a chess player. His whole objective is to get us into impossible situations where we have no more options or no more moves so that he can checkmate us. These are his plays. These are his maneuvers. These are his setups. The enemy may do his setups, but I'm going to go through some scriptures here today so that we can be edified to know that even though it's a setup for us to do the impossible. It's a setup, but it's also a setup for the Most High to do the impossible through us. The enemy loves to put us in those impossible situations. But all that has happened with us as a people throughout our history, and many of you can testify in your own personal lives, that when the enemy set you up, it was a setup to do the impossible. When the enemy set you up and placed you in that impossible situation, all that took place was the Most High did the impossible through you. He strengthened you to do the impossible. In these times that we live in, we as a people and us individually need to understand the enemy is pulling out a lot of setups right now. And it's setups for us as a people and for you and I individually to do the impossible. Let's revisit some stories here. Let's go to Exodus chapter 5, verse 5 through 19, about one scenario where the enemy set up our people to do something that was impossible to do. Listen to this. And Pharaoh said, this is Exodus chapter 5, verse 5 through 19. And Pharaoh said, behold, the people of the land now are many, and ye make them rest from their burdens. And Pharaoh commanded the same day the taskmasters of the people and their officers, saying, ye shall no more give the people straw to make brick, as heretofore, to let them go and gather straw for themselves. And the tale of the bricks which they did make heretofore, ye shall lay upon them. Ye shall not diminish aught thereof, for they be idle. Therefore they cry, saying, let us go and sacrifice to our Elohim. Let their more work be laid upon the men, that they may labor therein, and let them not regard vain words. So Pharaoh has commanded that our people, their work be doubled. The work that was given our people to do at that time was already impossible. We had to make bricks to build. But he added even more impossible workload on us to make us go get the straw ourselves before they provide the straw for our people. Because you know, in order to make those bricks, they needed the straw, they needed the mud, they needed the water. So he's putting an impossible task on our people to run and go get their own straw and mud and mix it in the water. And on top of all that, to expect them to have time to make bricks and build with it. He wanted them to do all that before sundown, which was impossible. But he still put that policy and that decree out there. He set our people up for an impossible situation. Listen to what happened next. And the taskmasters of the people went out, and their officers, and they spake to the people, saying, thus saith Pharaoh, I will not give you straw. Go ye, get you straw where ye can find it, yet not aught of your work shall be diminished. So the people were scattered abroad throughout all the land of Egypt to gather stubble instead of straw. And the taskmasters hasted them, saying, fulfill your works, your daily tasks, as when there was straw. And the officers of the children of Israel, which Pharaoh's taskmasters had set over them, were beaten and demanded, wherefore have ye not fulfilled your task in making brick, both yesterday and today as heretofore? Then the officers of the children of Israel came and cried unto Pharaoh, saying, wherefore dealest thou thus with thy servants? Now look at this level of wickedness in Pharaoh and his people, because this is the same level of wickedness that is in our enemies, our opponents, and our adversaries today. They'll set people up, they'll set us up for impossible tasks and impossible situations, and then punish us for not fulfilling an impossible rule or policy. How wicked is that? That's the setup that the enemy is putting people in, us as a people and us individually, to set us up in impossible situations. But remember, it's all a setup for us to do the impossible. Look at our history as a people. We've been placed in impossible scenario after impossible scenario after impossible scenario. A lesser people would have been extinct, bloodline exterminated. Yet here we are, still being fruitful, still multiplying. All their setups have only made us as a people and us individually do the impossible. And that's exactly what takes place now, family. Understand that they are going to continue to put impossible scenarios out there to try to crush your hopes. They're going to continue to put impossible scenarios out there to try to wear out the patience of the saints. Impossible scenarios, decreasing people's pay, but then raising people's rent and the price of food. You paying people less and decreasing people's hours, but then you making the price on housing and food and necessities skyrocket. How wicked is that? That's what you call putting people in impossible scenarios, paying them less, but charging them more for everything. That's a setup. It's a setup. You're evicting people out of their homes for something taking place that wasn't even their fault. Here, the children of Israel, they suffering for whenever Moses and Aaron went to have the conversation with Pharaoh. They was going about their business, working every day, going home to their wives, and giving glory unto the Most High for a new day. And then this happens. Same scenario many people have been faced with the past few months, was going about their business, not bothering nobody. And all this nonsense hits with the virus and this and that, something that happened way over somewhere that we ain't have nothing to do with. And then a few months later, all of a sudden, now everybody's saying it's our fault. Now everybody's saying that y'all the ones causing this. Y'all the ones causing the riots. Y'all the one causing all this unrest. Putting our people in impossible situations as if things was not hard enough. That's the mentality in our enemies' minds. They see things are bad, they want to make it worse. They see things are already impossible, they want to make it even more impossible. But guess what? Even though it's a setup for us to do the impossible. Because every time they do that, we always do the impossible, even when they put us in impossible situations, man. Every damn time we do. Ain't gonna be no different with this time. It's a setup. But it's a setup for us to do the impossible, for you to do the impossible. So when you see the setup, when you see the scenarios they're putting our people in and trying to put you in, when you see that, recognize, okay, they trying to make this impossible. So that just means I'm getting ready to do the impossible. I can see them trying to make this impossible. That just means the Most High is about to do the impossible. So you should have a smirk on your face whenever you see them making things harder and harder and harder and harder. You should have a smirk on your face knowing, okay, that must means I'm about to hit some numbers on them. That must means I'm about to do some numbers out here. That must means I'm about to do the impossible. That must means I'm about to overcome because they trying their best to wear me out. I'm about to do the impossible because it's a setup, but it's a setup for all of us, for you and I to do the impossible. Let's continue to read. It says, there is no straw given unto thy servants, and they say to us, make brick. And behold, thy servants are beaten, but the fault is in thine own people. But he said, ye are idle, ye are idle. Therefore ye say, let us go and do sacrifice to the Most High. Go therefore now and work, for there shall no straw be given you. Yet shall ye deliver the tale of bricks. And the officers of the children of Israel did see that they were in evil case. After it was said, ye shall not diminish aught from your bricks of your daily task. So family, all the things that's going on now with them trying to make things impossible, with what they're doing with certain things, with the economy, all of these things, any scenario that they're presenting that makes your victory, your success, and your destiny seem impossible, understand all that is a setup for you to do the impossible. Because they were born to bow at our feet. We are destined to overcome. So whenever those situations are put in front of you, think of it as an opportunity for you to do the impossible. That's the motivational mindset. And I'm going through these stories to remind you of your history, that every time they put you in impossible straits and impossible scenarios, you've crushed it, you've overcome, you've risen out of it. And the same ones that put you in that scenario, they have to end up bowing at your feet. The same people who put our people in that impossible scenario, that pull and push of trying to wear us out, those were the same ones that was rushing to hand us their silver and their gold, begging us to leave Egypt so that they would survive. All these Karens and all these suspected white inferiority people, all these folks that got their snout all high in the air, making all these impossible demands, trying to make people live up to standards that they themselves don't even live up to, trying to put restrictions on folks that they're not even following, trying to make people be in a box, trying to put limitations on where people can go, what people can do. All those folks, those going to be the ones bowing down and putting gold at your feet. Because even though it's a setup for us to do the impossible. Just like we came out of Egypt, we shall come up out of this. The Most High shall do the impossible. We shall do the impossible. Let's go to Daniel chapter 2, verse 1 through 13. Here's what it says. And in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams wherewith his spirit was troubled and his sleep brake from him. Then the king commanded to call the magicians and the astrologers and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king, and the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. Then spake the Chaldeans to the king in Syriac, saying, O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation. The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me. If ye will not make known unto me the dream with the interpretation thereof, ye shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made a dunghill. But if ye show the dream and the interpretation thereof, ye shall receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore show me the dream and the interpretation thereof. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation of it. The king answered and said, I know of certainty that ye would gain the time, because ye see the thing is gone from me. But if ye will not make known unto me the dream, there is but one decree for you, for ye have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the time be changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and I shall know that ye can show me the interpretation thereof. And the Chaldeans answered before the king and said, there is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore, there is no king master nor ruler that asks such things at any magician or astrologer or Chaldean. And it is a rare thing that the king requireth, and there is none other that can show it before the king except the gods, whose dwelling is not with flesh. For this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. So this king has presented an impossible scenario. He wants somebody to tell him his dream that he don't even remember. That's impossible. That's impossible for a mortal to be able to do that. How you don't even know the dream, but you want us to fulfill it. Doesn't that sound a lot like the wicked that's in this society now? They're not even paying off all their debts. They owe trillions in debt, but then they'll try to wrangle the common man over electric bill and car notes and this and that. They trying to hold the people to standards that they're not even fulfilling. That's the type of spirit that is on these wicked in these times. That was how the king's spirit was then. He wanted these people to tell him a dream he couldn't even remember. And then if they couldn't do it, he said, I'm going to kill all y'all. That's putting people in an impossible situation. That's trying to put stress and anxiety and worry on people. And that's what these enemies today want to do as well, family. They want to put stress, anxiety, worry, and frustration on us. Because if we're operating after stress, anxiety, frustration, and worry, then we're not meditating on the Most High. We're not having that clarity of thought in prayer and fasting. We're not receiving those downloads from the heavenlies. We're not receiving those instructions if we allow them to give us that anxiety, that frustration, and that worry. And many times, all these people are doing is grandstanding, putting forth illusions, because this same Nebuchadnezzar lost his damn mind. Whenever you read the book of Daniel, this same dude making all these impossible demands, the Most High made him lose his damn mind. And that's the same spirit that is on a lot of these wicked today that are in leadership positions. They're psychopaths, they're sociopaths, they're manic depressives. Behind closed doors, they probably ball up in a corner, butt naked, scratching themselves, foaming at the mouth, behind closed doors, having all sorts of manic episodes and psychotic breaks. But when they step in the podium in front of the camera, they polish them up to look as if they are a world ruler and a Nebuchadnezzar type. So none of these other mere mortals could solve the king's dream that he didn't even know. It took a Hebrew, Daniel, to do the impossible. And look at this. This is what was not fair about this. Daniel was minding his own business. He wasn't even there when the other astrologers and all them was in the presence of the king. Daniel wasn't even there. Daniel was probably at the house eating some bread and drinking some wine and having some honey and just relaxing and somewhere praying while these other dudes was in front of the king. And then they opened their mouth and did something that got him into some drama. And family, is that not what takes place a lot of times today? The things that these wicked are doing, you and I are somewhere minding our own business, not even thinking about what they got going on. But the stupid decisions they're making is now affecting our people. They're trying to bring us into their drama, putting us in their impossible situations. They're creating all these scenarios with their dumbass decisions. They're creating all these impossible situations and then want to call on us to come fix it when we didn't even cause it. It's a setup. What they want to be able to do is blame us for everything going wrong that they themselves messed up. It's a setup. But it's a setup for us as a people to do the impossible. It's a setup for you and me personally to do the impossible. The harder that they make things, the brighter our people will shine. Because this same Daniel also wrote in this same book that in these last times, those who are wise shall shine like the stars forever and ever. Those who know their Elohim shall be strong and do exploits. So it should put a smile on your face, family. When you see all of these impossible scenarios, when you see all of this unfairness taking place, when you see all these scenarios where our people are getting blamed for something we didn't have nothing to do with, it's a setup. But don't be in victimhood. Don't sit there frustrated that why they got to do us like that. Understand this is how they've always moved. And every time they do that, it's a setup for us to do the impossible. So in these times, as they're making things harder and harder and harder and adding insult to injury and injury to insult, understand it's a setup for us to rise, for us to dominate, for us to get victory, success, and destiny. When you come across these situations on your job, amongst your family, whenever you come across these situations, seeing how the heathen is doing, it should put a smirk on your face. Because you know, oh, okay, since they moving like this, that means the Most High must be about to do the impossible. Since they moving like this, the Most High must be about to strengthen me to do the impossible. Because I see the setup. I see their setup. But I'm not going to go into victimhood. I'm not going to go into a sorrow that will cripple me. I'm not going to allow them to wear out my patience. All this is going to do is give me unlimited energy to do the impossible. That's how you got to eat that. That's how you got to chop that thing up. That's how you got to beast it. That's how you got to go forward. I see the setup, but I understand it's a setup for me to do the impossible. In these times where they're trying to make things so hard for brothers and sisters to be able to make ends meet, okay, boom, I'm going to get creative and I'm going to launch a business. I'm going to get creative and I'm going to find some loopholes on how I won't need their system in order for me to be sustained and feed my family. I'm going to get creative and find every loophole and every weakness in their system that I can and exploit it and go out here and do exploits. Even though they're trying to make me dunk while they got a 500-pound restrainer on me. And even though they're trying to make me dunk this basketball, they got a 500-pound restrainer on me and they're making me jump from 10 feet lower than where everybody else is jumping from. Watch me jump with the 500-pound restrainer on and tear the whole goal down and do the impossible. What they were trying to keep me from doing, watch me do it anyway. While they're putting forth all these impossible scenarios and trying to say anything we accomplish is not valid, watch us have even more accomplishments. Watch us rise even higher. Watch us be on top and them on bottom. Watch even a week or 2 weeks from now, these same people putting all these impossible demands be nowhere to be found. Watch in the end, we win, you and I and our people. Because guess what? Luke chapter 1, verse 37, even though it's a setup, they're putting our people in for an impossible situation. Luke 1:37, for with the Most High, nothing shall be impossible. For with the Most High, nothing shall be impossible. Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, I can do all things through Messiah, which strengthened me. So no matter what their setup is, it's a setup for us to do the impossible. Those who know their Elohim shall be strong and do exploits. Those who are wise shall shine like the stars forever and ever. Those who lead many to righteousness. In these days, family, get ready, because we as a people are going to do the impossible. You and I individually are going to do the impossible. You are going to see us come up with great inventions. We are going to have great inventions. We are going to have great accomplishments. We are going to have great businesses. We are going to have supernatural signs and wonders following us. We're going to have the supernatural and the natural. We're going to be high achievers in all areas and all aspects. You shall rise. I shall rise. We shall rise. Because all of this that's going on is merely a setup for us to do the impossible. Shalom.
We believe in the truth that is in the Bible. We believe in the resurrection of the dead. You are Lazarus. You are the dry bone. You are the prodigal son. You are the lost sheep. You are the people about whom the Bible is speaking, who will stand up in the last days.
All right, y'all. I actually liked that last podcast. I might listen to that again. All right, everybody. Well, this concludes today's Bible study. But like I said, if you can all drop in, I will start the marathon for Brother L, I would say like maybe around 10, 11 o'clock on Monday, just before the blood moon. So try to get out there and take a glimpse of it. If you can't, look for it online. So everybody, it's going to be some serious days ahead for America, for real. It is about, usually after these blood moons, it goes crazy up in here. And it's been crazy enough, all the way up until now. But man, after Monday, I am waiting for it's going to be all hell breaking loose up in here. For real. These people, you think they're losing their mind now? You ain't seen nothing yet. So everybody, please enjoy the rest of your day. Wherever you are, enjoy your Shabbat. And we'll be coming back together again next week. Shalom, family.